Nothing will put the fear of God in a guy more than a woman who's able to detach. The best type of woman, I am telling you, this is literally the best type of woman to date, is the woman who loves hard, but also has the capacity to suffer through detachment. Meaning, they can love you with a love that is painful, but they're also willing to detach themselves from you because of how high their self-esteem. And this is great because this triggers the toxic men to expose themselves. If they sense that you're able to walk away, that you have some conditions, that if you do this, I'll leave you, that my love is not conditional, the detachment, the peace that emanates from you, like literally radiates as like a kamehameha and pushes the wrong guys away. The problem is that pushing them away they'll say you're born, right? They'll say you don't love hard, you're detached. When in reality, they want you to get attached quickly and not be able to walk away to control you. And don't forget, we're having 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK. And if you guys want to be able to apply these strategies and talk to me on the phone about your situation, click on the description down below where it says work with Father Alex and use the coupon code BLACK. You can get 20% off my coaching calls. Let's continue with the video. That to me is the perfect middle ground. And to put it into more preciseness, it boils down to this concept. High intention, low attachment. What does it mean? The high intention is the part that you have the capacity to be attached. You have the capacity to love. You have the capacity to feel feelings, right? A lot of people are either or, where they're very attached and have no, and they have high intention, high attachment, or high attachment and high intention. Very rarely do you meet people who can equally want you, but equally be willing to walk away from you. As a guy, that tells me that the attention that you give me is something of value. Because nothing lowers your value than a guy realizing that another guy lower your value. Reputation matters. And if they know that you begged, that you cried, that you acted pathetically, the attention that you give me is not going to feel that well. Honestly, like I remember dating this girl who kept telling me that every guy that was with her cheated on her and left her. And I know I could be toxic, but hearing that, I was like, is there something I'm missing? Like why you are like, she legit looked like a fucking mafia's wife. Like a mafioso's wife, like a Mexican mafioso's wife. Legit stunning. But then when she said that, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, why is that? Well, it's human nature to not value what other people don't value. If they know somebody didn't value you, why should I value you? It's like, if I know you bought this for $10, why are you trying to sell it to me for $20, $30, $50? It's kind of like that. Like a guy wants a woman who can love completely, but also detach. High intention, low attachment, right? Now, how do you do that? Well, first of all, when you meet people, you have to be grounded in reality. You have to understand that things end. It's under this delusion that causes people to go crazy because you're delusional. You are imagining that this relationship will be forever. And because you imagine that, your emotional reaction is such that if it doesn't last forever, it's almost like the whole world exploding into smithereens. But if you, from the start of the relationship, have a realistic understanding of how things truly are, that eventually things will end, your emotional response to situations ending will be with a lot less intensity. How do I know that? Well, because in Buddhism, we call this object impermanence, or anicca, meaning this too shall pass. In Buddhism, when they say that whenever you think something's not, whenever you're under the delusion of permanency, when things change, you grieve because you feel like things changing a little bit, it's like losing it. Well, what you have to understand is that when you meditate and you observe, I'm checking my food, and you observe the sensations of the breath, and you observe emotions pass and go, you observe the desire to stop meditating, you observe the desire to do this and to that and do that. And if you stay still, you will notice through observation that things come and go, and that your desire to stop meditating arises and passes away, arises and passes away. And the more you see things arise and pass away, arise and pass away, the more you start to see the reality behind everything, that everything is impermanent. But love has a hardening aspect that will make you think it's always going to be forever. And the reason why that is because you are afraid. Um, you are afraid of losing the person. You are afraid of confronting your emotions. So because of that, you rather believe that it's going to be there forever. Because understanding that it's not going to last forever will cause you to have to deal with that reality. And a lot of the times, love is running away from reality. That's what love is a lot of the times, right?
And a lot of the times, being needy and creepy, it is running away from reality. You know the truth. You know they're not good for you. But because accepting that truth will cause you to have to deal with uncontrollable emotions, you start begging, you start chasing, you start trying to control him so that you can control your emotions. And people sense that. And this attachment you have will cause this person to use that attachment as leverage. And he slowly but surely will start to take control over the relationship. And when I mean take control, that means that you completely delegate how happy you feel based on their reaction. Your happiness does not come from within. And because of that, you have no detachment. Guys are hypocrites. Guys want a woman they can have. Guys want a woman that want them, but also a woman that doesn't want them. And the middle ground is a woman that loves you, but that also, if you fuck up, I'll walk away from you. That's just the truth.
So we have understanding that things will not last forever. So from the beginning, you have to understand that and prepare yourself for the inevitable, right? That's why with Buddhism, in Buddhism, you learn to die, right? This is actually very interesting. Is that when you start to detach, you become non-reactionary, meaning your reactions lower. They're not as intense.
And because men are naturally insecure creatures, your lack of reaction is going to be noticeable. It'll announce itself like an annunciation, like a thunderbolt. People can sense when there's something off with you. Now, if they don't sense that you have created a little bit of distance, if they don't sense a little detachment, that's a red flag. That means they're not paying attention, or do they give a fuck? This works on people that genuinely like you and are paying attention, or toxic people who are always paying attention whether or not they still have power over you, right? So you can get mixed results with these, but you'll know the toxic people get aggressive, right? The healthy people get romantic. They'll sense that now you're a little distant, you're not calling as much, you're not texting as much. Rather than get controlling, they'll get romantic. They'll start to do things for you. They'll give you a gift. Why? To get a reaction out of you, to see a happy face. You see, when you're always fucking happy, why do I have to impress you? You're like a golden retriever. A little treat here and there keeps you happy. Having that sensation that you are easy to please, but also a little bit difficult to please, but not impossible, like a flow state where it's not hard, but hard enough above your threshold. This keeps a guy in a romantic state of mind. And also it keeps him in a sexually competitive state. Because he senses maybe you're pulling away because you found someone else. Who knows? Maybe you're a little distant because of me, because of something that I did. A genuinely nice guy would try to find out what's wrong and start acting more romantic. And as long as you reward his behavior, it's not a bad thing. The difference is that toxic people will get aggressive.
An opaque wall between you and them. And you can almost sense that they're acting, But the truth is that when people like you, they show different nonverbal cues. They show more emotions, right? And what happens is that we backward rationalize that people who are very expressive, like not expressive in terms of charisma, but who express anxiety through the twitchiness, the movement, the subtle little quick intense reactions, we just don't respect. And when you genuinely detach, it's the craziest thing. This is honestly a psychological thing. When you genuinely detach in your mind, literally everything changes. It's imagine this. Imagine you're fighting someone and you're scared to die. Okay. Now imagine that same opponent fighting you, but now you're not afraid to die. Now you're fighting to keep your family alive. Do you think there's gonna be a difference? There is gonna be a difference. The difference is that now you're not afraid. You are detached. You're not afraid of suffering. You're not afraid of feeling pain. Sorry, the dog is here. You're not afraid. Oh, you're not afraid of suffering. You're not afraid of experiencing pain. And so because of that, you become fearless. You become strong. And you almost like, it's almost like old people when they get old, they start talking shit. They don't give a fuck, right? There was this one guy, I saw a video on YouTube where he was like, do you think black people are lazy? And he was like, yeah, of course, they're all lazy. He was crazy. He was like racist. But he was so blatant and so honest about his racism. He just didn't give a fuck that when you read the comment section, black people are like, I like him. He's invited to the cookout, right? Detachment has a quality that causes people to respect you more, causes people to want to be around you more because they know you're not filtered. They know you're genuine, right? And so that's one thing. Now, the next thing is that it causes a guy to chase more, right? Guys want you to want them, right? They want you to want them. Or better yet, they want you to need them, right? And so, what are the easiest tricks to really fuck with a guy and not go to hell? Is to show him that you're able to recover from pain, that you're able to feel, to be attached to something and walk away from it. When you don't give that impression to someone, they don't have a reason to win you over. It's like Democratic, what do you call it? Democrat politicians in the United States. Unfortunately for my brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters, they don't cater to them because they know they're all going to vote for them, right? They cater more to independent voters, right? Independent voters are ones that are not either or. And because you're an independent voter, they have to work a little bit harder to convince you. Because why? You are detached. There's more effort. They can't read your mind exactly. When you are detached, when you are completely attached and unwilling and not having the emotional capacity to walk away, there's a certain level of fear, a certain level of insecurity that you show at the thought of losing the person, right? Now, I'm not telling you guys to be a bunch of Terminators. I'm telling you guys to put the fear of God in guys. Us guys, we take things for granted. And if you don't show us how to appreciate you through how you pull away, through how you punish us when we disrespect you, we're naturally going to go in the route of monopolizing you, trying to get you to completely love us, trying to get you to completely obsess with us, and almost make it an unbalanced type of relationship. It's up to you to make it balanced. If you don't show a guy you're willing to walk away, he's not going to make the effort to make it balanced, right? But if you show a guy that you're willing to walk away, you'll notice that guys just put more effort, or they don't like the fact that you stand up to them, so they walk away. Detachment has a quality of only keeping guys that are healthy for you. Toxic guys that want complete control will not want to be with you. They'll run away, people. They'll run away from you because what they're after is power. What they're after is control over someone. And this is not the type of control. They want someone who's completely dependent on them. And it's not that, it's not that you are completely dependent, because you are at the same time. But like I said, you're able to walk away, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, it makes them think that that you're never going to leave, a guy just cannot respect that. They see you as a doormat. You know, you got to be able to develop high intention, low attachment, right? And above all, understand that things will all end. And having that thought in mind, in fact, letting people know, like literally, like telling people that things will end, telling people of how potentially this is going to end, reminds them that maybe they should not take you for granted. Literally taking the effort to tell people that one day we're not going to be together, reminding them puts a fear in their heart, which allows them to hold on to this moment a little bit harder.
And this is why you got to actively tell people that it's not unconditional. I'm sorry. Telling people that you are giving unconditional love will cause them to take it for granted. You have to verbally communicate to people. When a guy, if I ask you, baby, will you love me if I was a fucking plant? You'll say, hell no, I'll piss on you. Like you gotta let people know that I love you under these conditions. If things get a little out of whack, I may not be there for you. We gotta let go of this romanticism that we're not in Sharia. Well, I don't know. Is Sharia that Sharia state that if you divorce you get killed, right? I don't know. But we're not in that type of country. So you could do that.
Right? And above all, this triggers toxic guys because toxic guys don't want you to be detached. Toxic guys want to completely monopolize you, right? They want you to be completely dependent on them. And if they believe that you're able to walk away, they'll either tell you to remove those contact, like it's almost like sabotaging you. Like they'll tell you to stop being friends with those people who can help you when you walk away, or they'll leave. But the point is, this reveals everything. Only healthy men like a woman who has high intention and low attachment. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org. And there you could book a one-on-one phone call with me today. And you could use the coupon code BLACK to get 50% off my courses and 20% off working with me one-on-one. Check out all of my courses: Psychological Game of Attraction, Emotional Mastery, Charisma Blueprint, Natural Chemistry, and the latest one, The Feminine Woman. Check that out. They're all 50%